Welcome to Hats On.
Hi, I'm Lion, and I want to start this very first episode the same way this whole podcast was born, with a conversation, not a formal one, the kind that happens over coffee that's gone cold, or in a car on the way home from something. Too many of the conversations that matter most to women are still happening in whispers, in closed rooms, over coffee cups, not microphones. It's time to change that. That's what this is. That's what Hats On is. I've spent my career in HR, most recently at the intersection of people and AI, helping leaders and organizations adopt technology in a way that it's practical, human, and built to last. But something shifted in me when I became a mother. Having my son didn't just change my schedule, it changed how I saw myself, my identity, my ambitions, the hats I was willing to wear, and what I decided to put down. It cracked something open. I had always thought of myself as someone who could do anything she set her mind to. I was raised to believe that, and with hard work, I did. I had a career that moved fast and felt like mine. Then I had my son, went on maternity leave, and suddenly the identity I had built, the driven, visible, professional women, went quiet. I wasn't sure who I was without it. And the strange thing was, I deeply wanted to be with my child. Both things were true at the same time, the love and the loss of self, the joy and the disorientation. It took me years to realize how common that experience is and how many versions of it exist, not just in motherhood, but in grief, in burnout, in reinvention. I started noticing every time I was with other women, colleagues, friends, even strangers at a conference, we would end up talking about the real things, the things that don't fit neatly into a LinkedIn post or a performance review. And I kept thinking, why are these conversations still happening in whispers? Why do so many of these topics still feel like taboos, even in 2026, even among women who are accomplished, vocal, and brave? And I wanted to change that. So, why the hats? We all wear many hats at the same time: the professional one, the mother, the daughter, the partner, the one who is grieving quietly, the one who is reinventing herself, the one who smiles through the meeting and cries in the car on the way home. Most of the time, we manage this in silence. We compartmentalize, we perform, we tell ourselves it's fine and keep moving. But it costs something. And the cost goes up when no one around us can see what we are carrying. What I've learned from my own experience, from women I've interviewed, from the conversations that happen after the meeting ends, is that the hats don't go away, but they get lighter when they get named. When someone else says, I see what you're carrying, I see all of it, and you don't have to hide it here. That is what this space is. After my maternity leave, I was talking to a male colleague. I mentioned, almost in a passing comment, that the whole experience had felt incredibly lonely. Besides my direct team, nobody from the company had reached out, that I had simply disappeared from the professional world for months, and that it had been harder than I expected. He looked genuinely surprised. Then he said something I've thought about ever since. I didn't know I could reach out. And honestly, I wouldn't know how to handle it if one of my team members was having a hard time with the pregnancy or coming back from leave. He wasn't being unkind, he was being honest. And that honesty revealed something important. People often want to do better, they just don't have the language, the awareness, or the permission. Nobody has ever shown them what to do because we don't talk about these things out loud. That conversation is one of the reasons this podcast exists. So, what can you expect? In this podcast, we'll talk about women's life in all their phases. Career, yes, but also the things that shape and reshape us along the way. Becoming a mother, losing a sense of self, finding a new one, navigating ambition alongside guilt, the body changing at inconvenient moments, the parents who suddenly need us, the decisions we make alone that the world doesn't have a category for. We are going to name these things out loud because they deserve to be named. And we are going to do it in many voices because this podcast will be as diverse as the woman in it. English will be our common thread, but you will hear very beautiful accents from all over the world. And sometimes when a guest truth is better spoken in her own language, that is exactly what we will do. Because some things can only be said the way you first learn to feel them. Hats on is not just for women, it's for anyone who has a woman in their life and wants to understand her more fully. I hope you enjoy these conversations as much as I do. Listening to them, being inside them, getting completely absorbed by the humanity in every single one. I hope something in each episode lands somewhere useful for you. A story that makes you feel less alone, a question you carry with you, a conversation you decide to have with someone you love or work with, a policy you go back and reconsider, a hand you reach out because now you know you can. The stories in this podcast are real. The women are extraordinary, and the things they are willing to say out loud, the things they've agreed to name on behalf of all the women who can't yet, are, I think, exactly what we need to hear. Hats on. Let's begin.